A financial analyst proved mathematically that Bernie Madoff was committing fraud. He submitted the proof to the SEC 3 separate times over 8 years. The SEC investigated 3 times and found nothing wrong. Madoff was finally caught, not by regulators, but because he confessed to his own sons. By then, he had stolen $65 billion from 37,000 people. Bernie Madoff was not a backstreet con man. He was a former chairman of the NASDAQ stock exchange, a Wall Street legend. When people gave him their money, they were not being naive. They were trusting one of the most respected figures in American finance. That was the point. Madoff's fund appeared to generate consistent returns of 10 to 12% every year, in good markets and bad. When other funds lost 20 or 30%, Madoff somehow kept delivering positive returns. To sophisticated investors, this consistency was not a red flag. It was the attraction. What they did not know was that the returns were completely fabricated. Madoff was not investing their money. He was depositing it in a single bank account and using new investors' deposits to pay existing investors. A classic Ponzi scheme, requiring a constant flow of new money to survive. In 1999, financial analyst Harry Markopolos was asked to reverse engineer Madoff's strategy. He spent 4 hours with the numbers. The returns were mathematically impossible. In 2000, Markopolos submitted a detailed report to the SEC. The world's largest hedge fund is a fraud. The SEC investigated. They found nothing wrong. He resubmitted in 2001. Nothing. In 2005, he submitted a 21-page report naming Madoff directly, identifying 29 separate red flags, and explaining the Ponzi mechanism in detail. The SEC met with Madoff. Madoff charmed him. They found nothing wrong. He submitted again in 2007. Nothing. On December 10, 2008, Madoff called his sons into his apartment and confessed. His sons called their lawyer. Their lawyer called the FBI. The SEC learned of Madoff's arrest from the FBI the following morning. $64.8 billion stolen. 37,000 victims across 136 countries. Pension funds wiped out. Charitable foundations closed. Elderly investors left with nothing. Too old to start again. Harry Markopolos testified before Congress in 2009. He described the SEC as so incompetent it could not find fraud if it was handed to them in a wheelbarrow. The SEC reformed its whistleblower program after the Madoff case, creating financial incentives for people to report fraud. The reform came too late for 37,000 investors and $64.8 billion. Bernie Madoff was sentenced to 150 years in prison. He died in federal prison in April 2021 at the age of 82, never having expressed what his victims considered genuine remorse for what he had done to them. His son Mark died by suicide exactly 2 years after his father's arrest. His son Andrew died of cancer 3 years after that. The SEC employees who conducted the 4 investigations that found nothing were never disciplined. Several were promoted. And Harry Markopolos, the man who proved the fraud mathematically, submitted the proof 3 times and was ignored for 8 years, received no official recognition from the SEC for his work. He still works as a fraud investigator today. He says he has found others.